Mr. Desmond Wilson, Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Public Safety and Utilities, Mr. Clayton Bean, Chairman of the Telecommunications Board, all current and past board members, Mr. Kenville Williams, the Director General of the Telecommunications Commission, Executive of CaribNOG, participants and invited guests, good morning. My name is Russell Gardiner, and I am the Director of Technologies for the Telecommunications Commission, and it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you all to the CaribNOG 29, which is being held in the beautiful by nature Turks and Caicos Islands, hosted in partnership with the TCI Telecommunications Commission. CaribNOG, which stands for Caribbean Network Operators Group, provides a forum for network operators and IT professionals to engage, exchange technical knowledge, and strengthen regional collaboration. This year, CaribNOG 29 event is being held under the theme, Strengthening Digital Resilience. Over the course of 2 days, we will cover a range of topics such as cybersecurity, network infrastructure, peering and interconnection, which will be led by industry experts in the field. There will be hands-on exercises, insightful and thought-provoking panel discussions, and valuable knowledge sharing sessions, all centered around fostering innovation and resilience within our local and regional networks. As we begin the session, I implore all in attendance to be engaged and to maximize this opportunity to learn, collaborate, forge new relationships as we seek to build and secure our digital future. With that said, I wish you all a fulfilling and exciting 2 days. I will now invite Mr. Ronald Gardiner to do the prayer of invocation.
Good morning, everyone. Please stand. While we have. Heavenly Father, we come to you with hearts overflowing with gratitude as we gather for the 29th meeting of the Caribbean Network Operators Group in the beautiful Turks and Caicos Islands. Thank you for uniting minds and spirits from across our region, all connected by a noble purpose to enhance digital resilience and forge a secure, connected, and empowered Caribbean. Your word declares in Proverbs 24, by wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it's established. Through knowledge its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures. Lord, you are the ultimate source of wisdom, knowledge, and innovation. As we explore the vital topics of cybersecurity, infrastructure, and connectivity, we ask that you bless each speaker, presenter, participant with clarity of thought, creativity, and a spirit of collaboration. May our exchange of ideas over the next 2 days inspire progress that uplift all our people. We are committed to establishing a robust and secure digital infrastructure throughout the Caribbean region. Guide us as we build, not just systems and network, but lasting partnership and shared understanding that will benefit generations to come. We lift up the leaders, sponsors, and partners who have made this gathering possible. May their efforts yield lasting, meaningful results. We especially recognize the Turks and Caicos Telecommunications Commission and all supporting organizations for their steadfast commitment to regional development and excellence. Father, we ask for your guidance on over every session, congregation, conversation, and decision arising from this event. May integrity, unity, and purpose illuminate all that is done. As we embrace fellowship and learning, we thank you for the generous provision of food and refreshments and hospitality. In all things, may your name be glorified. May the Caribbean emerge stronger, more resilient, and fully prepared for the digital future. We ask this in your name, and everyone say, Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Gardner. now call on Mrs. Robin Hinds-Forbes to sing the national anthem and national song.
Can I ask you to stand again, please, for the singing of the national anthem and national song of the Turks and Caicos. God save our gracious King, long live our noble King, God save our King. Send him victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save our King. Oh, we salute this land of ours, our country we declare, this promised land with its beauties grand, though small it is our own. Turks and Caicos, Turks and Caicos, our country firm and free. Our allegiance, Turks and Caicos, we pledge and we affirm. Its people forged and blend with multiplicity of race and kind and creed and tongue, united by our goals. From the east, west, north, and south, our banks and oceans meet, surrounding sands and hills of glee, our pristine beauty see. Turks and Caicos, Turks and Caicos, our country firm and free. Our allegiance, Turks and Caicos, we pledge and we affirm. We stand with courage brave to maintain this land of ours, with islands scattered here and there, with trust in God we stand. Turks and Caicos, Turks and Caicos, our country firm and free. Our allegiance, Turks and Caicos, we pledge and we affirm. Our allegiance, Turks and Caicos, we pledge and we affirm.
Thank you, Ms. Hinds-Forbes, for that beautiful rendition of the national anthem and national song. Moving straight along, I will now call on Mr. Clayton Bain, Chairman of the Telecommunications Commission, to bring welcome remarks.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Following the protocol already established, let me extend special greetings from the Turks and Caicos Telecommunications Commission and a special welcome to all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As the chairman of the board, and through discussions and meetings with our director, the team of the commission, the board members, we recognized early on that not a lot of people knew about the Turks and Caicos Telecommunications Commission and what we do on a daily basis. Although efforts were being made to educate the public about the Telecommunications Commission, and what we do, mainly through website updates and comprehensive annual reports, it wasn't until the Commission held its 20th anniversary celebrations that people learned about the Commission. We want to continue to focus on educating the TCI community about what we do and to play a role in a leading role in highlighting the technical realities and advances, not only in telecommunications, but in networking and cybersecurity. The Commission is currently working with others to resolve long-standing issues with the .tc domain, and we have plans to implement better IXP solutions once we have completed the National Fiber Project. So we hope to gain insights and best practices and discuss options to resolve these issues with the professionals from ARIN and ICANN, who is here with us today. Those are some of the main reasons why we are so delighted to host CaribNOG 29 in our beautiful, by nature, Turks and Caicos. The Caribbean Network Operators Group, CaribNOG, is a rich community of network operators dedicated to exchanging technical information and experiences related to management of IP networks in the Caribbean region. The theme of this conference is strengthening digital resilience. We have an exciting agenda covering salient topics such as cybersecurity, networking, and ISPs. We hope that our attendees will dive in and learn and share experiences with CaribNOG professionals, with the featured speakers, with one of our premium local IT experts, Mrs. Catrice James Williams, and with our own Telecommunications Commission professionals, including our Director General, Mr. Kenwell Williams, our Director of Technology, Mr. Russell Gardiner, and our board technocrat, Mr. Lee Ingham. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that's a powerful combination. So we look forward to some exciting days, 2 exciting days, and we look forward to all of us reaping maximum benefits from this experience. Once again, welcome and thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I will now call upon the Honorable Minister Otis Morris, Minister of Public Safety and Utilities, to bring his remarks. Please welcome the Minister as he comes to the table.
Good morning. Everybody look like they still sleeping. Anyway, good morning, colleagues. Good morning. Protocol already having been established, I am delighted to be here today. To our distinguished guests, regional and international partners, esteemed experts, and counterparts from across the globe, welcome to the beautiful by nature Turks and Caicos Islands. It is both an honor and a privilege to address you as the Minister of Public Safety and Utilities with responsibility for the Telecommunications Commission. Today, we proudly host CaribNOG 29, a gathering that stands at the intersection of technology advancement, collaboration, and innovation for the future of our region. To our visitors, I extend a warm and heartfelt welcome. I trust that you have already experienced the renowned hospitality of our people, the vibrant culture of our islands, and the unparalleled beauty of the environment that surrounds us. We are grateful that you have chosen to join us in this remarkable gathering. And we hope your time here proves both productive and memorable. To our local stakeholders, thank you for your continuous support and unwavering commitment. It is because of your hard work and dedication that we are able to bring such an important event to life. CaribNOG is far more than a conventional meeting. It is a beacon of progress, collaboration, and shared purpose. For this forum represents a collective effort to empower the Caribbean in ways that are transformative, sustainable, and forward-thinking. Over the course of the next 2 days, we will come together as a community, regionally and internationally, to share knowledge, ideas, and solutions for the most pressing technology challenges in our time. As many of you are aware, the Caribbean region sits in a unique crossroad, an intersection of both vulnerability and opportunity. We are no strangers to the challenges posed by natural disaster, whether it is the destructive force of hurricanes or the growing threat of climate change. But at the same time, we find ourselves in an era of unprecedented digital transformation. We are embracing technologies that can transform our economies, enhance the quality of life for our people, and create new opportunities for growth. This brings me to the fundamental role of CaribNOG, to equip us with the tools, the expertise, and the collaborative spirit needed to navigate the complexity of the digital age. The challenges we face are not unique to a single country or island. They are regional in nature, which is why the solutions must also be regional. CaribNOG 29 presents us with an opportunity to chart a course forward that is rooted in regional cooperation and mutual understanding. The theme of CaribNOG 29, strengthening digital resilience, resonates deeply with the goals and vision of the Telecommunications Commission in the Turks and Caicos Islands. As we continue to modernize and expand our national telecommunication infrastructure, we recognize that a secure, inclusive, and resilient digital ecosystem is no longer a luxury. It is a critical necessity. Our commitment to building a robust digital infrastructure reflects our belief that the Caribbean must remain at the forefront of technology, innovation, and cybersecurity, particularly as we work to address the needs of our citizens, businesses, and public services. In the Turks and Caicos Islands, we are focused on strengthening our digital economy, ensuring that our telecommunication networks are secure, reliable, and accessible to all. But our efforts must be part of a larger coordinated regional effort, one that is driven by shared priorities and common challenges, whether it is enhancing internet connectivity, improving cybersecurity, or creating more opportunities for digital literacy. We understand that collaboration is key. CaribNOG exemplifies the spirit of collaboration. It is a platform that not only fosters the exchange of technology, expertise, but also encourages the building of strong partnerships between governments, the private sector, and civil society. Over the next 2 days, we will have the opportunity to learn more from one another, exchange ideas, and develop concrete strategies that will allow us to harness the full potential of the digital revolution in our region. I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to the CaribNOG leadership for their tireless efforts in organizing this forum and creating a space for the Caribbean most talented minds can come together to explore the future of technology. Your leadership and vision are essential in ensuring that the region continues to thrive through collaboration and innovation. I would also like to take this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation to the Telecommunications Commission staff and the entire team involved in the planning and execution of CaribNOG 29. Without your hard work, attention to detail, and commitment, this event would not have been possible. Your dedication to the cause is inspiring, and I am proud to stand alongside you as we work together towards a more connected and resilient Caribbean. As we move forward, I encourage each of you to engage fully in the discussions that will take place over coming days. Ask challenging questions, share your insights, and take full advantage of the opportunities to network and collaborate with colleagues from all over. The conversation we have must not end with this conference. They must spark action and create momentum needed to bring about meaningful change in our region. Let us commit to leaving here with more than just ideas and knowledge, but with concrete plans, new partnerships, and a renewed sense of purpose in our shared vision to build a smarter, more secure, and more connected Caribbean. In closing, I would like to reiterate my warm welcome to each of you. It is truly an exciting time for the Caribbean, and it is through gatherings like this, CaribNOG 29, that we will continue to unlock new possibilities and realize the full potential of technology in our region. Once again, welcome to the beautiful by nature Turks and Caicos Islands, and I wish you all a productive and rewarding conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister, for those remarks. Now, the next item on our program is the keynote address, which will be done by Mr. Bevel Willing. But before he comes to the podium, I'd just like to read a brief bio of Mr. Willing. So Mr. Bevel Willing is a Trinidadian technologist and development strategist who is the Chief Knowledge Officer at Congress WBN, a UK registered charity with operations in over 120 countries. He is known for his work in the field of information and communications technology in the Caribbean. In 2010, he was named by ICANN as one of the trusted community representatives for the domain name system security extension, that's DNSSEC root. Mr. Wooding advocates for developing states and emerging economies to create policies, build infrastructure, and leverage human resource capacity for technology-enabled development. He has been described as a visionary who believes that the Caribbean economy can be enhanced through ICTs and internet development. He's currently the Director of Caribbean Affairs at the American Registry for Internet Numbers, ARIN, and an internet strategist for the US-based nonprofit Packet Clearinghouse, PCH. He also served as a special advisor to the Organization of East Caribbean States and the Caribbean Telecommunications Union. His work spans several sectors and includes public awareness, capacity building, and policy development. Mr. Wooding's work with the Caribbean Court of Justice has led to the creation of a non-profit agency to support the implementation of technology innovations within the Caribbean justice system. He currently serves as the Executive Director of Caribbean Agency for Justice Solutions. He is also a co-founding member of CaribNOG, the Caribbean Network Operators Group, and CARPIF, Caribbean Peering and Interconnection Forum. So let's please welcome Mr. Bevel Wooding as he comes to bring the keynote address.
Good morning, everyone. This microphone is on, yes? Testing 1, 2. All right, good morning. The protocol has been established, but I do want to especially greet Mr. Morris, Chairman Clayton Lee, and of course, Pierre Desmond Wilson. I especially want to thank Mr. Kendall Williams for accepting our not too recent invitation to come to Turks and Caicos to have this meeting. This has been a long-standing desire of the CaribNOG community, and we really are genuinely glad to be here. And I'll be explaining why we're glad to be here as I go through this keynote address. The theme, as you've heard several times, is strengthening digital resilience. And this topic is a recurring theme under the CaribNOG umbrella for some time, but the nature of the times that we now live in make it an even more pressing concern. And we felt that it was more than just timely to have a conversation around this, but we felt it was very important to have this conversation here in Turks and Caicos, where we have been working with the Telecommunications regulator for some time now in discussing issues around internet traffic exchange, critical internet infrastructure, and so on. For a number of years, my colleague Albert Daniel from ICANN has been part of that ongoing conversation. But we all felt that we are at this juncture where conversation now needs to be translated into specific action. And as I stand here in beautiful by nature Turks and Caicos Islands, we know that behind the sun, sea and sand and beauty, there are some real issues around how we go about expanding, developing, securing, maintaining our digital infrastructure, and more importantly, our digital ecosystem in a way that is consistent with what we know and we need to be the aspirational goals of the territory. Minister Morris spoke very factually about the reality that the issues being faced in Turks and Caicos are issues being faced across the Caribbean. And so a lot of what we hope to bring inside of these 2 days of technical training, interaction, and social networking will be very consistent with the need that is growing across the entire Caribbean. So you are now in a space where the Caribbean's most committed technical minds, policy leaders, and I guess as well digital visionaries converge. This is the 29th gathering of the CaribNOG community. That's almost 2 decades of toiling in the Caribbean fields to get a critical mass of network operators, technologists, policymakers, regulators to understand that pulling together we can achieve the goals that we've set out for ourselves. So this year, we're meeting under this theme, strengthening digital resilience. It's a powerful theme. It's a timely theme. And in our community, in the technical community, it's easy to think about these issues, networking, technology, digital, anything in terms of routers and switches and network protocols. But for CaribNOG, networking is just about people. And I thought it's fitting for us to, given the nature of the prayer that was prayed by Ronald, given the remarks that we heard from the minister, from the chairman, that we locate the conversation in a human context. Connecting people across our Caribbean territories, across our Caribbean institutions, and across our diverse but very similar interests is a top priority for the CaribNOG community. We believe that networking is about building trust, forming alliances, creating spaces where knowledge and experience can be shared for the greater good. And so, in a very real way, when people ask, so what do you do in CaribNOG meetings? Is it another Caribbean talk show? No, it isn't. And if you came for a talk show, I apologize, this is not going to be that. This is as much speechifying as you will get over the next 2 days, happening right here in the opening session. CaribNOG is about practical solutions to real world problems. It's about network operators and engineers rolling up their sleeves and sharing ideas and information and experiences. Forgetting for a moment the corporate badges that they might wear to sit in a common forum to discuss the common challenges and come up with common solutions. You have persons in the room joined by persons online from across the region for whom this is an important biannual affair, in which we not just hear about routing, security, cybersecurity, this, how to build IXPs, and all of these topics, but we also get a sense of who's doing what where. What did you learn? What did you get pain from that you can share with me so that I don't have to go through that pain? What resource do you have that I don't have where I exist or function or operate that I can leverage to amplify my own strength? I'll put some scriptures into his prayer. I'm going to put one. One can chase 1,000, two can chase 10,000. That's one of the foundational principles inside of CaribNOG. We understand that it is only through collaborative efforts that we can actually amplify or outsize responses, even when things seem to be impossible or improbable. And the good thing about it is back in 2006, 7, 8, 9, when we were having the first set of CaribNOG conversations, these were all aspirational ideas. How good could it be if the region got together and network operators from around the region sat to think about how to support their countries and the region? Now we have a track record where we can see in very real and practical terms the absolute power of such collaboration. So in an increasingly digitally connected world, securing our networks for us, and I hope for you as well, is first about protecting our people, then our data, protecting our institutions, and by extension our economy. So when the CaribNOG family, of which you are now enjoying, speaks about things like digital resilience, the start point for that conversation, the inception for the understanding of why are we trying to protect, secure, enhance, strengthen our critical internet and networking infrastructure is about the fact that we live in these territories. This is our business. And this is business into which we can apply technical knowledge and skill to actually, practically, meaningfully advance national interests and connect to regional interests to make an impact on the global internet. That's the trajectory of all CaribNOG conversations. It starts with a very local concern, an almost selfishly local concern. I need to address my issues in my territory. But I can't do that if I don't join forces with, connect to, engage with others from around the region who have similar issues, who have gone through similar challenges, who have come up with relevant solutions. So to get my business done, I lock arms with my brothers and sisters across the region. Now this is not some kumbaya speech, this actually works. And it has actually been working. And we'll look at some of those things in over the course of the next 2 days. So why are we here? We're here to understand more intimately the issues inside of Turks and Caicos. We want to hear from you. We want you to hear from us. It's not one party flying in to talk down to a territory. It's brothers and sisters from across the region coming to stand alongside you to help, to support. And in supporting, we get understanding that allows us to be even more effective in supporting other territories, because wherever we go from here, you go with us. Your concerns, your ideas, those things carry and carry and carry, and expand our knowledge pool of what is required to address Caribbean issues with Caribbean solutions. Everybody following me? That's CaribNOG. As I said, this is as much speechifying as you're going to get for the week. The rest of it becomes very, very practical very quickly. In terms of the theme and looking at the issue of digital resilience, some people like numbers, and there's some very concerning numbers that we've been seeing across the region as it relates to things like cybercrime. No country, no size business, no size economy is immune to this growing global threat. Cybercrime is projected to cost the world $10.5 trillion annually, according to one report. In the Caribbean, where we live, not where we vacation, where we live, over 60% of businesses report being targeted by cyber threats. Yet fewer than 20, according to a Caribbean Development Bank study, have formal cybersecurity policies in place. It shows. We are told we have to put increasing trust and reliance on the digital future. This is how we have to build our knowledge-based economies and diversify, etc., etc. We have to become more dependent and reliant on these technologies for our future. But in an increasingly threat-based world, we are even less prepared to deal with the inevitable risks that are associated with moving to the inevitable digital future. That's a conundrum. We have to address it. And part of the addressing of it comes again down to the human component. So anyone going to any cybersecurity, anything, would be told that, well, public awareness training and teaching is an important part of building a cyber-aware society. But who teaches them? Who trains them? Who talks to the network engineers who are ultimately responsible for the critical infrastructure and invests in the real-time, dynamic, ongoing training and capacity building required to stay abreast of these ever-evolving threats? And that comes down to some really practical issues in terms of organizations, in terms of investment decisions, in terms of the reality of economic constraints and human resource constraints. So recently, last year at the Connected Caribbean Summit, CaribNOG signed a memorandum of understanding with the Caribbean Chambers of Commerce, because the recognition was clear. If we only spoke to technical communities and these guys and gals went back to the organization and said, well, we just learned something that we need to implement in the organization, but it will cost, the CEO said, well, I have other pressing priority concerns. I don't think we can do that right now. Then is our job as CaribNOG finished by just talking to the network operators? No. Again, Caribbean solutions for Caribbean problems, we understand the nature of the environment and the culture. We know that if you talk to your boss, for those of you who aren't your boss, your own bosses, chances are you'll be heard in one way if somebody else with what appears to be a larger overseas, outside, foreign resume talks to them and says the same thing that you have been saying, somehow magically, ears open, interest and attention is gained, and they turn to you and say, why didn't you think of this before? Right? That's the reality. That's, we all know how it works. And so for CaribNOG, if we are serious about things like digital resilience, cybersecurity, mitigation, the investment in our energies can't simply be talking to the network operators. It has to be engaging the business owners. It has to be engaging the private sector in a language that they can understand, which is the economics of cybersecurity, not the technical challenges of cybersecurity. We can't simply limit our conversations to the technical community. We have to also go to the governments and the regulators and talk to them in their language of political priorities and regulatory concerns. And that gives us a holistic, multi-front line of attack into the problem of cybersecurity, critical internet infrastructure. So you heard, I think it was the minister explained that the CaribNOG community is not just the techies, it's not just the network administrators, it's the regulators, it's the policymakers, it's the business community. And if you ask, well, why are they here? They're here because we need them to help fix the problem, because it's a multifaceted problem. When we talk about digital resilience, I mean, we're from the Caribbean, and we understand very well the notion of resilience. It's a defining characteristic of our country. It's a defining characteristic of our people living in hurricane belt. We face annual storms, and every time those season comes around, we're just like, okay, let's do what we have to do. That is so built into the psyche of people in the region that we sometimes take for granted that resilience is a requirement that goes beyond the hurricane season. So anyone on the front line of network administration knows that you're always under attack. What's resilience for a CaribNOG community? If resilience in the world refers to our capacity to withstand shocks, natural disasters, cyber attacks, and system failures, and still be able to bounce back stronger, then in the current context, resilience for digital infrastructure is connected to the resilience of our economies, our education systems, And that's an important inflection point in the understanding of the growing understanding of why digital and digital resilience matters. Because resilient digital infrastructure is connected to resilient economies. Not resilient digital economies, to resilient economies. Resilient digital infrastructure is connected to resilient education system, resilient governance structure. And that connection is another part of when you look at the region that brings concern to the CaribNOG community. The Caribbean is among the top 5 most disaster-prone regions in the world. We know this. Yet fewer than 30% of public sector entities in the region have tested disaster recovery or business continuity plans for their digital systems. And these are the realities. So when you put as a theme for the event, strengthening digital resilience, it's not a cliche. We live here. We function here. And so issues around coming up with an answer to this problem become a priority for CaribNOG and our partners. 30%, fewer than 30% of public sector entities in this region have disaster recovery or business continuity plans. I use the word tested disaster recovery and business continuity plans to make a distinction among those companies and governments that have used ChatGPT to generate a plan, but haven't actually tested the plan to see if it works in the real world. So what this is referring to is real world tested disaster recovery and business continuity plans. And we have to address that if we want to put continuing reliance on these systems. The final point related to the landscape and the issues that we're addressing is the issue of digital sovereignty. And this refers to the ability of a nation or region to independently control, govern, and protect its digital infrastructure, data, technologies, and policies in a way that aligns with its own interests, values, and legal frameworks. This is one of the very interesting evolving conversations around the region now, as governments and the private sector recognize that the risk-based reliance on external interests to manage, to invest in, or to oversee critical infrastructure becomes a point of vulnerability for development. Some of you may be working in large telecom providers, some of you might be working in businesses that depend on the services provided by providers. All of us will have an interest in to what extent is infrastructure being invested in. What kind of capital expenditure is going into upgrading networks and critical components that allow us to continue to expand. Those aren't easy decisions, and those ought not to be, I repeat, those ought not to be decisions that are simply based on what's the ROI from an economic sense on investment in digital infrastructure. But when you think about it practically, it is unreasonable to expect a private sector for-profit institution to have concerns that go beyond their for-profit motive. So the question then becomes, whose concern should it be? To what extent should public policy determine the extent to which investments in ongoing strengthening and enhancement of critical infrastructure be placed? Those are real issues. Those are real issues. When we talk about, as you hear over the course of the next 2 days, about internet exchange points as the foundation stone for the digital economy in the Caribbean, and you look at the debate that has now spanned over a decade about who should put which infrastructure where, and how should it be costed, and how long should it take to build, you recognize that we're in this circular loop of conversations around something so that we could be doing something that will actually ultimately benefit the greater good. And so there's a role for public policy to accelerate or to serve as a catalyst for the development of critical infrastructure. Does it mean that for-profit companies are bad and anything else? It's not as simple as that. It's a very nuanced discussion. And part of that nuance has to do with in whose interest ultimately is it to ensure that the appropriate infrastructure is in place at the appropriate time. And once that question is truthfully, honestly considered and answered, again it comes back to it's a corporate or collective responsibility. It's not any one organization's fault or burden to make things happen. It is a collective movement and a collective responsibility. And I'm sharing these things with you so that you understand that inside of the context of meetings like these, where experts are coming from the American Registry for Internet Numbers and the Internet Corporation for assigning names and numbers, and our local experts are present sharing their ideas, that inside of it there is this tacit expectation that we're doing this for the greater good. We're doing this for the greater good. The training, the freeness of it, the openness of it, the availability of experts to share their expertise, to network, to build connections across territory, is so that we can all ultimately be better informed and we play our part in changing the cities. And ultimately, that is what the CaribNOG Forum is about. Why does this matter so much right now? And if I made these following statements a year ago, which that wouldn't really happen like that. It's been a pivotal movement. Global and near regional developments have underscored the fragility of the systems around us that they've come to assume. The threats are escalating, cyber attacks are becoming more frequent. But more than that, global tensions and economic uncertainties are impacting our region in unprecedented ways. And we're looking at it playing out real time in front of us, and there's a sense of, is it really happening? Yes, it's really happening. It is really happening. And because it is really happening, we have to have a different response to counter what is happening. Which means that inside of the threats and the uncertainty and instability, there is opportunity. There's opportunity to create new connections and new dynamics across and throughout the region. Digital is the platform of the present and the future. But transformation without vision, without investment, without resilience, without supporting public policy, can leave us more vulnerable than empowered. At CaribNOG, we want to be empowered. I'm sure in Turks and Caicos, anyone operating any business, any interest, any area wants to be empowered rather than vulnerable. And so, if we have to step into the fullness of what this gathering, this moment represents, if we take it beyond a two-day event into a movement toward more resilient, more sustainable, more collaborative engagements, then it is important for us to make this more than just a workshop, more than just a conversation point or meeting point, and to make it into a true region-wide community where infrastructure, human capital, policy engagement, collaboration and knowledge sharing, and innovation can propel us onward. And that's really why we're here. That's what CaribNOG 29 is about. That's why we chose the place to be. Beautiful by nature, Turks and Caicos Islands. Because instead of there's any place or point to initiate this new conversation in digital resilience and a collaborative approach to why not Turks? So I want to invite you, encourage you, cajole you, beseech you to join this movement toward a more resilient digital environment for the Turks and Caicos and for the wider Caribbean. Beyond the meeting, this is a practical call to action, collective action. This is not a time for spectatorship. This is on the sidelines. Let's see how this will play out. It's going to impact all of us. So whether you're a technician, a teacher, a policymaker, a politician, a student, whether you're from the private sector, public sector, civil society, this movement calls for your engagement. And so I can encourage you all over the next 2 days. Let's move from consumption mode to creation mode. Let's move from digital dependence to digital sovereignty. Let's migrate from vulnerability to strength. I want to conclude by thanking again the Turks and Caicos Telecommunications Commission, the government of Turks and Caicos, our connectivity sponsor Digicel, the teams that helped pull this meeting together under short notice. I want to thank you again for making this happen and giving us the opportunity to be in this forum. The efforts of the teams that were responsible for bringing us here and having this space set up for us reminds us of the power of both community and shape focus. I looked at the extent to which places went out of their way to ensure that you had the right environment for these conversations as part of a principle that really lies at the heart of everything that is CaribNOG mission, which is networking for the people. I hope you appreciate the effort taken to convene this meeting. I hope you take full advantage of the opportunities to network, to interact, to learn, to share as we go over the next days. Let's embrace these days with energy, with enthusiasm, with openness, and with the determination to build a stronger, more resilient digital environment for us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Winning, for those very inspiring and insightful words. I must admit that I only became aware of who CaribNOG was over the last few weeks, and I was thinking to myself, what can I relate CaribNOG to? And then my mind went on to the only word that I know with nog in the end. It's eggnog. And I said, well, if CaribNOG is what eggnog was to me as a child, then I can support this organization wholeheartedly, 100%. We appreciate the work that CaribNOG is doing in uniting Caribbean counterparts and furthering the digital, respective digital agendas. And so to add the icing on the cake for the closing ceremony, I will now invite Mr. Kendall Williams, the Director General for the Telecommunications Commission, to bring closing remarks.
Good morning, everyone. Protocol having been established before I even went to the speech. I'm very surprised that Russell only know about CaribNOG 2 weeks ago. So it means that I'm not doing a good job. So I know of CaribNOG for many years. Mr. William, my capacity as the Director of Technology, and prior to that, as the telecommunication engineer. We've been in this space, I've been in this space for a very long time, over 18 years, so to speak, 20-something years in the IT background. And so this is what it's about. CaribNOG, Caribbean Network Operators Group, having a group, establishing a group for us technocrats within the Caribbean, but I guess that will say it correctly, to solve our own problems regionally. And so one of the ideas is to, for us, from the Turks and Caicos, we have all of the expertise here in the room today, I know most of all of you. But it's so often that we don't meet and have a discussion. So the idea in my mind is to, before we to become a member, or find a way to become a member of CaribNOG Association in the sense, I have an opportunity to travel the world and be able to go to a lot of these conferences. I've been to one, I can't remember where that was though, but I think yes. And I saw the benefit of CaribNOG sharing ideas with technocrats in the room of solution they have came up with or handling challenges. And so we as Turks and Caicos can create a Turks and Caicos network operators group locally deal with local issues. I think it will give us strength. It's so often us technocrats like to deal with our issue solo. That's a thing that technocrats I can't even go into. Even though the server room is a room that I once went, it's like I have no access to it now. Right? Those who are in charge of the network operation, they tend to be a little bit sensitive, personal, and don't want person to engage in what they're doing, and they don't want to share knowledge and skill. But I think we have to move from that. Globalization is real, right? Cybersecurity is real. We can't fight this alone. And so we have to share knowledge. We have to share our skill set and be able to safeguard our network together. So I'll task Russell if you can lead on establishing a Turks and Caicos network operators group where all of the technocrats can come together and share knowledge. I think will be a good thing for all of us. So I'll put that as part of the KPI to have all of these technocrats numbers and emails and establish that group. Paid group, I think, Chairman, I said this without consultation with you, but I think if you paid into the organization, you paid into the group, will allow you to be able to have an informative meeting, bring persons that you Bevel and other groups that exist within the Caribbean to be able to present and share knowledge to you guys. I think we'll go a long way. So that's my charge for Turks and for the Telecommunications Russell Gardiner to lead and trying to establish this group with all of you guys, paid group, your organization pay an administration or whatever into it. You guys can bring the technocrats locally to share knowledge and experience. As we conclude this morning proceeding, I want to take a moment to reflect on the solid foundation we have established for CaribNOG 29. We have set a strong tone with what promised to be 2 transformative days of collaboration, learning, and innovation. One thing is evident from the Minister and the Chairman's remark, Mr. Bevel Wooding, the lighting keynote protecting our Caribbean digital ecosystem, and the commitment made by our government and business leaders, we are getting stronger as a group. Although we confront many obstacles such as infrastructure gaps, cybersecurity threats, we are equally capable of overcoming them with collaboration and common goals. I want to thank the speakers, our moderator, and everyone present or virtually for their participation thus far. As we go into the technical section this afternoon, I want you to participate in these discussion questions, assumptions, and explore workable solutions. The CaribNOG and local stakeholders, thank you for your trust in Telecommunications as hosts. Let us carry out this morning energy forward. Let's carry this morning energy forward as we work together, as we work towards a more connected and secure digital future for the Caribbean. Enjoy the refreshment break, and I look forward to a conveying of this afternoon's agenda. So I believe you'll have a photo up. Yes.